Good morning, cherubs.
Good morning, Heather. Hello and welcome to the Cherub Chats podcast. I'm your host, Guardian Angel and Big Sis, Heather Michelle, and I missed you again. The last episode I was like, I'm back. Did you miss me? And then I went in hiatus because there was a huge plot twist. Trump won the election, which literally threw me for a fucking spiral of deep depression until Christmas. And yeah, so I definitely lost a lot of time letting external situations that I have no control over beat me into submission and depression 2024. Because, okay, we're getting into it real quick. Basically, my life is amazing. I am so blessed. I'm so abundant. I have a roof over my head, food in my fridge, money in the bank. I have my dream career. I have more than I could ever need, truthfully. Yet I continued to let external things make me sad all 2024, which is why in 2025, it is the year of self-obsession. If you're relying on external situations, validation to fulfill you or to make you happy or to make you peaceful, you will forever be in a state of chaos because this world is chaotic. This world is unpredictable. This world is full of highs and lows. And if you ride those waves every single day, letting the world, the external world, guide your emotions and your mental health, you will be in for a sick and twisted ride. Which is why in 2025, we are centering ourselves, we are getting back to ourselves and regulating our emotions, our mental health, our desires, our dreams, and we are taking control of what we can take control of, right? This term of self-obsession has many different reasons, which is why I felt so inspired to pick up the microphone and truly yap about what this means for us, what this means for me, and how we're going to lead 2025 with this mentality that is honestly going to shape our months and change our life. This idea came to me on December 20th, 2024, because I was really trying to grasp what I wanted for myself, what kind of goals I was going to be aspiring towards. And honestly, we'll get into this a little bit, but at the end of 2024, I felt completely lost. I was incapable of making decisions for myself, even setting goals for myself without referencing social media or what people thought or like other people my age or Pinterest or Google. Like, yeah, we got into a pickle there. But I was journaling while I was away from social media, and I asked myself the question, one word for 2025 and why? And I came up with self-obsessed. I want to embody Venusian energy because to me, she is the perfect mix of a sweet and innocent angel with a central being capable of so much creation. That got me thinking how sometimes we are so obsessed with other people and things we worship. We praise them. We love them. We're committed to them. We look to them for guidance on what we should wear, how to act, what's cool, what's the vibe. We practically sacrifice ourselves and our identity to align with this thing, person, place we worship. We end up devoting our energy and being inspired by them, learning about them. What if I did that with myself? What if I became so self-obsessed that I sang high praises to myself every morning, every night? What if I listened to my intuition for guidance instead of flooding my brain with opinions, inspirations, and influence? What if I spend my time devoting to myself? What? I honestly can't read my own writing. Hold on, this is going to be a little choppy. What if I spent time devoting to myself, figuring out who I want to be? What if I devoted time to myself, becoming self-obsessed and quote unquote worshiping myself? Obviously, I don't recommend worshiping yourself like you're a god and thinking that you're literally the next Christ. That's unhealthy. But you get where I'm going, right? Like we, in layman's terms, we end up like worshiping money, celebrities, careers, accolades. Basically, we're kind of dissociating. We're forgetting about ourselves, focusing our attention on others, or external experiences, external situations, events that we flee our own brain. I couldn't even connect to my own voice. So that's what self-obsession started as. Like, what if I took all the time that I spent crying about this and crying about that and feeling impacted by this big thing? What if I just was like, truthfully, I only have control over me, my body, my singular body, my brain, my heart, my arms. That's me. That's all I can do, babe. I want to be obsessed with my life, with my routines, with my body, with my friends, with my husband, with my family, with my cherubs, my work, my career, my money, my good deeds, my talents, my feelings, my stories, my quirks, my voice, my expression, my legacy. Once I become obsessed with myself, so will others. I will be so magnetic, so unbelievably fiercely attractive that all I ever wanted will come to me. Opportunities, abundance, and success. All of it. So that was my journal entry, December 20th. And over the time that I discovered that, or it came to me, I was pondering over like, well, how does this reflect into my daily life? That's not to say that like we cannot be looking for inspiration. This whole world is inspiration. I think that's the beauty in community, is that we learn from one another and we share experiences and it impacts others. And in some way we take a little bit of everybody we've ever met with us on our journey of life, and we carry that on ourselves as a personality or memories, etc. But when you literally cannot do a single thing, cannot pick up a single personality, cannot pick up a single top without referencing with Pinterest, is this cool? Is this trending? Like, that's sick. That's twisted. That's dark. Some of you might know everything about Ashley Trevino, the inmate hopper. You might know all of her kids' names and all of her boyfriend's past names. You could know the charges that they're in jail for. Do you know what you want in the next 5 years? Do you know who you want to be at the end of this year? What's your dream hobby? What's your favorite book? What's the last thing you learned that didn't have to do with people online? These are all things that becoming self-obsessed will have you looking towards. Instead of catching up on the latest celeb drama, like I have been learning about art or journaling and asking myself questions or just talking to myself and kind of removing the layer of like others off my soul, if that makes sense. I feel like the way we think is very heavily impacted by, the media we consume and the people we surround ourselves with, which is why it's so important to really tailor this to your ideal outcome. And this is why you need to become obsessed with every little detail, because every part of your life impacts who you are and who you become and who you will be in the future, right? I think we've talked about that in previous episodes, where who we are today is simply a reflection of what people have told us and people have said to us in the past, and the labels that we have put on ourselves based on what other people have said, right? But basically getting back to why self-obsession. I think we think of self-obsession as like the epitome of self-absorption and the millennial Gen Z culture, and we can't stop taking selfies of ourselves or recording ourselves, and we're like so obsessed with our looks, and all we can care about is ourselves and the way we are perceived, and we don't care enough to like give back or help the environment or partake politically or really advance this culture in any meaningful way. But to me, self-obsession is prioritizing something over everything else. You're valuing it higher than everything else. And at the end of 2024, I was feeling very lost. Like I said, I couldn't make any decisions for myself without running online to have people weigh in and help me, to the point that when I was on my break, I was trying to find a mirror for my office. I almost broke my break to go put a poll up on Instagram to see, what mirror should I do? Why can't I trust my own intuition to pick a mirror? It's not that deep. If I can't listen to my own intuition, my own gut, not even intuition, let's not even make it that important. If I can't even trust my own taste, my own opinion for a mirror, how can I expect myself at the end of the day, when I'm all alone, to make the right decision for my future, for my life, for my career, for any of these big goals that I have. I can't. So I realized that I needed to start exercising self-obsession daily with my choices and with my opinions and with my thoughts. I realized that my voice was so drowned out by the trends, opinions, and judgments and algorithms. I was letting algorithm, especially for me because my career is online, letting my algorithm dictate how I live my life, because I was like, okay, well, if I start doing what the girls that are going viral on TikTok or Instagram are doing, then I will also do that. But which is so convoluted and stupid. Like, why? I realized that I am a tastemaker, and I was letting other people dictate the recipes that I was making. Makes no sense. People follow me for me. They don't follow me to regurgitate a Pinterest outfit. Although sometimes those are fun, a little recreating Pinterest outfit. But I was literally a reflection of the algorithm, and I was reflecting it back into the algorithm or to my cherubs, to my people, to people like out in life. Obviously, like I go out in public and stuff. And that just didn't really satisfy. That didn't really sit right with me. So how are we going to become more self-obsessed? Stop asking for opinions. Stop asking for opinions on every little thing. Maybe it is important, but most of the things that we ask opinions on are not that serious, not that deep. And realistically, if we ask for help on, do you think I should wear this top or that top? The answer isn't actually going to impact our lives, right? But it's the pattern that you are creating of constantly asking for opinion and ultimately validation, right? Because you're asking for opinion for the best choice, and you're assuming that when you pick the best choice, the majority is going to validate you and be like, oh, this is the best, da 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 da. Hello, my dear. Hi, Papa. You agree? You agree? Okay, I think so. And they always say, only ask for the opinion of the people who are in positions that you would like to be in. And I'm not saying that I don't envy any of you. I'm not saying that I don't envy anybody at all. I'm sure I do deep down inside. There's someone like who I would love to live a similar life. I can think of a couple actually, but we're all so different, and that's not new information. We're all very different. We all came from different backgrounds. And even if we all want to be, let's say, successful, happy, healthy, and filthy rich, that's going to look different on all of us. And if I'm listening to the advice of someone who thinks success is having an office in a high-rise building working for a like Fortune 500 company, well then my actions are going to start moving me away from my version of success, right? I say this as I give advice on a podcast. Don't listen to that one. So it's very tricky when you start asking for opinions on little things, then you start doubting your personal opinions on bigger things. And when you start asking for opinions on bigger things, it might lead you down the wrong road. That's not meant for you. And I think it's obviously we all ask for opinions from people that we love and we treasure. And I don't think it should be vilified per se, but ultimately I think this year for me is going to be a lot of like asking myself, sitting with these options, sitting in silence and listening to my own thoughts kind of flesh out. Cut the noise and sit in silence so that your gut and your higher self can come through and make the right choice for you. I'm really guilty. Obviously, I love a podcast, but I'm listening to murder podcasts, like science podcasts, or like pop culture podcasts. And if it's not podcast, it's a YouTube video. And if it's not a YouTube video, I'm scrolling on TikTok or Reels. And if it's not that, I'm listening to music. It is noise, noise, noise 24/7 in my head. On top of the fact that I have ADHD and I'm a Gemini, so I'm thinking 30 million thousand thoughts per second. On top of the fact that I had made it a habit of asking people for their opinions, I read comments all day. There's just so many voices up here and I need it silent. And finally, when it's silent, you're going to hear these thoughts come through, maybe even some ideas, maybe some judgments, maybe some reflections. There are so many things that you open yourself up to when you finally mute, go on silent, mute your notifications, give yourself boundaries with social media, give yourself boundaries with taking in content like podcasts, YouTube videos, TikToks. I love social media. I think it is such a beautiful place where a lot of people get to express their creativity and we get to exchange ideas and Anything, too much of anything is a bad thing. And definitely the noise and the entertainment and the fear of boredom kept me from my own intuition and my own higher self's voice. Journaling, I touched on earlier. Journaling to get in touch with your voice, to help express. I love looking up, I was shitting on Pinterest and now I'm like, I love looking up journal prompts on Pinterest, but it's a good one. Or you could ask ChatGPT for some journal prompts if you're trying to get in tune with your intuition or your gut or whatever. Or you could even just jot down your feelings. How are you feeling? What has the last week felt like? Or what do you hope for the next week or whatever? There's so many things you could talk about with yourself. Like, think you kind of are your best friend. Like, who knows you better than you? Nobody, probably. I have a few different journals. I journal in a notebook that prompts questions. I think it's called Letters to the Universe. I also, for a quick journal, I got it at Target. It's basically like a bullet journal kind of situation with smaller space for full writing. If I'm in a rush, I'll just journal in there just to get something flowing. And when I have time, I will journal in this bad boy that I just picked up. If you saw my vlog on Instagram or TikTok, picked this up and then I decorated the front of it. It kind of made it feel fun and inspirational and cute. Like, I'm excited to pick this journal up all the time, and I have like goals in there. I can write like full entries in there. I've put like my anniversary card in there, and I just let myself have fun in this one. And it's less like, this is law, this is word, like I want everything in this to come true. It's kind of just like a junk journal. I can do whatever I want in here, use fun colors, markers, gel pens. I can format it fun, like whatever. And that has been really fun. And I feel like already I have really turned around my mental health in 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy. Like, I really didn't take that much time off social media, and I already feel so much stronger as a woman. And just start trusting your intuition more with little things. Like, when you go out in public and you get a bad feeling, listen to it. Or if you wake up and you're like, I kind of feel like going here today, listen to that intuition, go to that place and see what unfolds. Because all those little things is kind of like God or the universe or your higher self, like pushing you in a certain direction that maybe you're meant to be in. And a lot of the times, because we're drowned out so much, we don't listen to it and we just follow our mundane routine or what we had set out or what we think we should be doing or what others think we should be doing or whatever, right? And we miss those opportunities and we miss little sparks of magic that could have been. For example, the thought of self-obsession came to me after being off social media for a little bit, cleaning the house and just kind of letting my thoughts wander. And I don't think that had I been scrolling on social media trying to get an idea of what should my goals be, what should my New Year's resolutions be, how should I rebrand, how should I switch my life around, I don't think I would have come up with that. Another layer to this whole self-obsession is the idea that life is too short to have anything in your life that you are not obsessed with, that you want to be so obsessed with everything in your life, every routine, every little inch of your life. Life is too short to have anything in your life that you're not obsessed with. There's a lot of things that we believe that is just our responsibility, or we feel pressured or forced to have something in our life, or to do something in our life, or to be with certain people in our life. It's all a lie. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have anything. Like, even think about a toilet brush. Yeah, a toilet brush is kind of necessary to keep your toilet clean. However, you don't have to have an ugly little toilet brush. You could be obsessed with your toilet brush. If you have to have something in your life, you might as well be obsessed with it, right? You might as well be in love with it or romanticize it in some way. And that goes for much more important things, right? Like, if you have to have a job, you might as well be obsessed with your job. You might as well look forward to your job. And I know that it can be hard to pursue your passion, and sometimes people don't want to make their dream, like their creative passion, hobby, whatever, their job. That's fine. But as long as you still love going into work, for example, even though I love content creation and sharing that, I really did love going into my visual merchandising job. I loved putting outfits together. I loved switching the whole store around. Even though it was really physically draining, I just remember loving it. Like, it made me so excited to get up in the morning and put things together and like display new trends and so much, right? Even though that's not really my dream, I still had fun and I still was obsessed with my job. If you have to have a vacuum in your house, be obsessed with a vacuum. I love my vacuum. It's a Shark and it cleans so well. It's so nice and small and tidy, and like I can put it away in the closet. It just makes my life so much better. And not everything has to be a product, right? Like, it could just be, I'm obsessed with my husband. I love that he looks at me like we're on our first date every single night. Like, it's just so special. Oh, my dogs, even though they drive me crazy when they bark at the door, I am obsessed with how cute they are, how loyal they are, their little quirks, like every little thing about them. I just realized that my video stopped recording for a little bit, which is so annoying. It's fine. We move. So like I said, the other layer of self-obsession is the fact that we have the ability of choice. A lot of us are 18 or older, right? We're adults and we have the freedom to choose whatever we want in our life. And if we don't want something in our life, it does not have to be a part of our life. If we have always wanted to do something or be a part of something, whatever, be in proximity to something, we can choose to do that. And obviously there's a whole journey sometimes with certain things that you want in your life, but for the most part, you can go do it. You can start the journey to do that. And if you think it's going to make you happy, fulfilled, obsessed, do it. Why not? I think one of the most important things to become obsessed with is your mind and learning things that you've always been curious about. For example, I love art. I took an art history class maybe in high school and college, my IVC years, my community college years. I didn't retain any information, but I've always wanted to be very knowledgeable about art. I kind of put that in the back of my mind because I'm like, okay, that time has passed, or like, it's hard to do that. I don't have the ability to go to college, blah, blah, blah. At the click of a thumb, I can go onto YouTube and look up an art history class that was recorded from Yale. Or I can look up a podcast that will teach me about 17th century sculptures. Like, everything is so available to me, and the fact that I didn't do something that I've always wanted to do is kind of crazy. Like, it's just so simple. Sometimes we procrastinate becoming obsessed with things because we think it's going to be so much harder than it is. Sometimes it is hard, but a lot of times it's as simple as deciding you want it and letting yourself have it. For example, kind of crazy, but my besties from elementary school recently came into town for the holidays, and we've always been talking about how Brianna and I are going to go visit Ashley, who lives in New York. Literally, I think we've been talking about this for 5-6 years. I don't know why I thought that it would be such a complicated thing, or like, oh, I have to figure that. We literally talked about it. Saturday night, we booked our flights. It's that easy. I wanted to do it. I did it. There, boom. And obviously some things have like money in the way or different obstacles, right? But it's As simple as deciding you want it and letting yourself have it. And now I'm sure I'm going to be obsessed with my experience in New York, and I'm going to treasure that, and I'm going to treasure the pictures and the memories and the experiences and the chats that we're going to have. It's going to be so special, and I'm going to be obsessed with that memory. Okay. Or like even, okay, another example, I've always wanted to learn more about high fashion and like particular garments or different designers and like their inspiration. I love that. I think that's another facet of art. And again, I haven't really done that. But this year I am going to learn about fashion. I'm going to sit down, maybe take a class. I don't know, on one of those class websites, but yeah, what are those websites where you learn stuff? Anyways, I'm like, I think they sponsor people. Sponsor me. Becoming self-obsessed with your home, cleansing your home of clutter, bad energy, items that don't work, items that you don't like, items that you're like, oh, well, I bought it, so it has to be here. No, it doesn't. It's literally not serving a single purpose. Just get rid of it, go donate it, go sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Like, it does not have to be in your home. There's so many things in my previous home that I'm like, ugh, I don't love it. It's just here to serve a purpose. I am not obsessed with it. Got rid of it, swapped it out. I'm obsessed with every little corner of my house now. And also like creating a home that you're just obsessed and like can't wait to show it off, and you're excited to show off like, oh my gosh, I got this in Mexico, or I got this in Greece, or like whatever. Like every little item of your house should create this excitement and joy, right? And I know some of you are thinking, no, everything cannot be da da da. Yes, they can. Like you can literally have the cutest step stool. I have the cutest little step stool. It's clear, it's acrylic, it's aesthetic, it fits under my clothes perfectly. I'm obsessed with it. Like it makes me so happy that I found that step stool. If you're gonna have something in your house, you might as well be obsessed with it. It might as well bring you joy. It might as well have a beautiful story to it, or something of the sort. You catch my drift. Become obsessed with your body. Move in a way that makes you feel good, happy, and fulfilled. Also becoming obsessed and like grateful and thankful and loving towards your body, that it has kept you alive for X amount of years. It woke you up this morning with lungs full of air, eyes that can blink, fingers that can move, little toes that can wiggle in your cozy little bed, and you can feel the warmth of your heater on a cold day, or you can feel the softness of a sweater rubbing against your arm. Like there's so many little things that we should be obsessed with about our body, not even just physically, not even just like aesthetically. Like I'm obsessed with the fact that my body has kept me alive till today. Like TMI, not to get sad, but like I have suffered beatings, I have suffered cuts, I have suffered like falls, I've suffered so much, and my cute little body has repaired itself and healed because it just wants to live so freaking bad. And I think that's so cute, and I just love myself. Like I really do love myself as the shell of a person. Like this shell is so good to me, you know? The amount of people that woke up today and will not go back to sleep is sad and it's depressing. But that should give you even more motivation to appreciate your body, your heart, your organs even more, because it did something that didn't have to be done, if that makes sense. Like you could have been gone. You could not make it by the end of today, but your body kept you safe and sound and healthy. And that's something to be obsessed with. Obviously, on a more shallow level, being obsessed with your body and fueling it properly with good, healthy foods. And of course, that's going to make you look amazing, and you're going to be obsessed with how beautiful and glowing and strong you look, or whatever your version of health is, right? Or like even becoming obsessed with your body, like, oh, I love feeling nice and moisturized. I love feeling like a hydrated face, or I love the feeling of like a freshly shaved leg, or whatever. Like just little things to be obsessed with within your body. Being obsessed with your style is another one, and I think we're going to explore that a lot on Instagram and YouTube as a group. I feel like last year I got so bombarded with trends and aesthetics and algorithm that I literally didn't know what to wear. So half the time I would wear jeans and a t-shirt every time I left the house. I had this whole huge closet of clothes. I would wear a t-shirt and jeans every time. So I want to become obsessed with every single piece of my clothes. Like, oh, I love the way it makes me feel, or the way it looks, or I love that it's inspired from this, or I love that I got it here, whatever. And I want to be obsessed with my style again, that it's like so me. I want to look at the stuff in my closet and be like, yes, that's me. And I'm obsessed with it. Like the giddy, like, no, I don't know how to describe it, but you as a girl, I'm sure you know the feeling when you put something on and you're obsessed with it. And if it's not an obsession, it's digression. Yeah, I put that under the video that I posted the other day, and I'm like, wow, that is tea. I need to like literally TM that right now before someone takes it. But it's so true. Like if you're not obsessed with it, it's taking you away from something that you could be obsessed with, or something that is meant for you, you know? And as shallow as clothing is to some people, it is a great way to express who you are on the inside. And right, we're working on connecting with that person on the inside. And so obsessing and like, not obsessing, but becoming obsessed with how we express ourselves is just another way of expressing ourselves and getting closer to ourselves. I feel like I just talked circles just then. Becoming obsessed with your hobbies, finding something that you want to make your whole personality and can't stop talking about. I want to explore so many different hobbies because I want to find a hobby that I'm obsessed with, that I'm super proud to be a part of, and I want to immerse myself in the culture of this hobby, and I want to surround myself with people that are also loving this hobby. It could be knitting, it could be painting, it could be ceramics, whatever. But I think a lot of us get stuck in the trap of like working, coming home and chilling until we have to go to sleep to get up to work the next day. And last year I found myself doing that a lot, especially when I was trying to be the most productive, like putting out a YouTube video and putting out like 5, 6, 7 short form videos and pictures. Like obviously my job is a lot easier than most people, but it still takes a lot of time. And I found myself literally just living to work every day. And I dropped hobbies. I dropped working out for some time there. I dropped going outside. I dropped a lot of things, and hobbies are something that I think are so healing because there's not a lot of pressure there to be perfect or to be the best at it. There's not pressure to make income from it. It's purely expression and enjoyment and creativity for the most part, a lot of the times. And I think that's so beautiful and something that I really want to find something I'm obsessed with. Becoming obsessed with your environment, going to restaurants and coffee shops and parks and beaches that you love. There are places that I've gone and I'm like, I don't want to be back. I don't love the energy. I don't love the people. I don't love the location. And now think about your favorite coffee shop that's in the best location, the best view with the perfect sun shining in. That feeling of like, oh, I got my latte and I get to sit here and like people watch and like sit in this cute little coffee shop. That is the feeling that I want to find when I find a new place, an environment, a studio, a Pilates studio, a gym, anything. Like I just want to be obsessed with it. Even environment can also relate to your friends. And it really does affect the way you think and act. You want to surround yourself with people that give you energy and make you excited and inspire you and get you like hyped up, versus people that drain you. And when you leave, you're tired, or when you leave, you're feeling down or depressed, or just like the life got sucked out of you. And again, part of this is practicing cutting things, people, places off. If it's not making you happy, if it's not fulfilling you, all you're doing is having a placeholder, and that placeholder is keeping that thing you're obsessed with or excited about from coming in. Like if I held on to all the clothes that I hated, I wouldn't have room to put in clothes that I'm obsessed with, that help express who I am. That's a very shallow example, but it's exactly how life works. You have a placeholder friend. You're not obsessed. They don't inspire you. You don't have fun. It's kind of boring. Well, now you're occupying, let's say, 3 hours of your week with someone who you're not obsessed with, but you could be giving those 3 hours to some amazing friend who would support you, inspire you, motivate you. And that's why you need to be obsessed and self-obsessed. And if it's not obsession, it's digression. Thank you. But you get the gist. Basically, be obsessed with everything, because it is that serious. It really is. And like, we kind of are playing like a little video game, and the way you decorate your little thing, or you go to the certain places, or put clothes on your little figurine, whatever. I actually don't play video games, so I don't know why I'm using this as an example. But the way you take care to curate this perfect little life on a video game is exactly how you are able to curate your life to be obsessed and love it and be excited. And your life could be so small and quaint and cute and like, quote unquote, not necessarily like the big flashy life that some people have, but you can still be obsessed with that life and make every little corner of your cute little house, or every little person you pass, like everything in your little world can be something that you love. And as soon as that love becomes something that you're not obsessed with anymore, you can change it, you can update it, you can pivot. Like, that's the beauty of life. Another one is becoming obsessed with food. And I'm guilty of this. Like, I used to eat stuff that I didn't really care for. I literally would just eat just to eat. I would eat like just chicken nuggets with, I don't even know, the most random sides. And it wasn't a yummy meal. I wasn't like, oh, wow, that's hitting. I would just eat it just to eat. It's quick, it's easy. And then I could get back into work or whatever. And you know what it did? It actually left me really unsatisfied with my, like, I don't know, day to day. I just didn't have any like meals to look forward to. It made me not want to eat at times, or it made me like want to eat out a lot at sometimes. And one of my goals this year is to find foods that I'm obsessed with, not only foods, but meals and recipes that I'm obsessed with. And already it's going great. My husband and I have been making these like egg casseroles in the morning that are not only convenient and healthy, but they're so good. And I wake up excited to have a little casserole. We also made like, what else did we make that was really good? Ooh, last night we had some pasta and I made homemade Alfredo sauce, and it was so good. I'm obsessed and I want to remake that. And I think that's a key with being obsessed with certain foods, is wanting to remake it and having it a staple of your personal food rotation. And it will really up your, I don't know, like joy of life, because there's something so wholesome about getting in the kitchen with maybe your friend or your husband or whatever, and making a meal from scratch that you're making with love. Maybe you're listening to music, maybe you're singing, whatever. There's like this good energy that literally gets injected into the food when you love the food that you're making, when you're making it fresh with good ingredients, healthy, blah, 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 and your energy gets affected from that. You're less lethargic, you're more excited, you're more motivated, your routines, your bowel routines are normal. Like, literally everything gets improved when you become obsessed with certain foods. You get what I'm saying. Like, when you find a food that you're obsessed with, there's really nothing better. You also want to be obsessed with your career or what you consume on socials. You want to be obsessed with how people treat you. And if they don't treat you well, bye. You want to be obsessed with your routines, your morning, your nights, your weekly, your monthly routines. These are little things that make up your life. And I want you to be obsessed with, like, so excited to wake up and do XYZ, because that's part of your morning routine and it makes you feel good, refreshed, inspired, blah, blah, blah. Like, for me personally, my current routine that I've been obsessed with is I wake up, I take the boys out, take them around the block so I get a little fresh air, feed them, and then I make my bone broth, a nice little warm bevy. It tastes good, it feels good, and then I sit in my cozy little chair. It looks like this, but it's in my living room, and I have a blanket on me and I start journaling, and it feels good, it feels warm, it feels cozy, it feels like I'm talking to myself. I'm having a good, like, heartwarming conversation with myself. It's silent, so I have some peace and quiet. And then I go and I put my gym clothes on that I love, that's flattering, in my room that I'm obsessed with, that is a dream come true, that's nice and organized and tidy and clutter free. Then I go to the gym and I do movements that make me feel good and make me feel strong. Come back, shower. I do my skincare in my beautiful, clean bathroom with amazing products that I love, that feel good, that make me feel clean and fresh. And then I get on with my day. And that's my morning routine. And notice how every step of the way, I love it all. I'm obsessed. Oh, and the quiche. I have 2 slices of my quiche. So good. And maybe right now your morning looks like waking up, rolling out of bed, rushing to brush your teeth, brush your hair, put on some ugly clothes that you don't fit in, you don't feel good in, and maybe it's too cold or too hot or whatever. Then you go to work to hang out with people that you don't like, that don't like you back. And then you have a coffee that's very mid and you paid like $10 for it. Do you see the difference there? And obviously, a lot of us have bills and shit that we can't just up and quit a job that's miserable. But there's ways that you can adjust and pivot your mindset to become obsessed. Like maybe instead of rolling out of bed like super late and groggy, you wake up with time. Oh, I forgot. I also meditate in the morning. You wake up with time. Maybe you like listening to music in the morning, your favorite music, or maybe it's a motivational speech, and maybe you take an extra 5 minutes to pick out a work outfit that you like, that's still appropriate, that's comfortable, that makes you feel good. And maybe this time when you go in the office, you make conversation with someone who maybe you've never talked to before. Maybe you take an extra 2 seconds to make coffee at home that's made with love, with good ingredients, that tastes better. Maybe you decorate your office. There's a lot of different ways to pivot something that you don't necessarily love. Maybe it is necessary in your life to keep, but you can make it a little better. And I think that's ultimately another aspect of self-obsession, is we're looking back to ourselves to blame, which sounds scary because we have to take accountability for some things that are in our life that we don't love, that we're not obsessed with. So we're looking back at ourselves for accountability. And now, because we're to blame, we're also the ones that are able to change and fix it and improve and turn our life around. And that can be such a liberating feeling. So, if there's something in your life that you're not obsessed with, just know that yourself is the one who can fix that, and you can turn something into something you're obsessed with. Sorry, lots of somethings. I need to improve my vocabulary. And lastly, like a warning, basically, if you don't become self-obsessed, if you don't look internally and look at your life and start focusing on your own business, minding your own business, you will dissociate and you will let years pass without anything in your life changing, and everyone else's life will change for the better, probably. And you're going to look back and not even know what happened because you're so dissociated from yourself, from your thoughts, from your opinions, from your desires, your goals. And it's going to be a very rude awakening. So please, my overarching goal with everything that I do is now I want to make you feel more self-obsessed, and I want to make you feel better and more confident, like you are expressing yourself authentically. And I hope that whenever I post something, you don't feel the need to shift into what I'm doing. I hope that it just inspires you to be more like yourself. And I'm excited for this journey of us trying to find things that we're obsessed with, whether that's hobbies or little home things, outfits, style, makeup, hair, obviously all those lighthearted and fun things, but also getting to a better relationship with ourselves where we're more intuitive and we have a stronger inner voice that we listen to. But yeah, I am really optimistic over 2025, not only for myself, but I hope that I can also pass this feeling along to you guys and get you motivated. I asked on Instagram how your 2024 is going, and unfortunately a lot of the girlies were saying that 2025 is not that great so far. And I hope that this podcast episode will motivate you to turn it around, because you are more in control than you know. And I hope that we can ride this fun wave and experiment and play and discover and just find like the nuance in life again. I feel like, me personally, I got into like a rut, and I wanted to be in a box for a little bit there. I wanted to just follow a small set of rules, basically, that I set out for myself. Like, that's so sad. I literally was like, I kind of want to be in a box because I feel like it'd be easier. But this is more fun. Like, being out of the box, having a million options that I get to choose from and find what I'm most obsessed with. So anyways, I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful and motivational. Please don't forget to follow, like, share this podcast, share it with someone who you think might need a little pick-me-up, a little New Year's motivation. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you aren't already, because TikTok is going away. And follow me on YouTube, where you'll see a little bit more of the process of me finding things that I'm obsessed with. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.